Hello everyone and welcome to another live stream from SeeDj. It's Gödel here, my real name is Hortensio and I'm one of the human beings working in the SeeDj team. And I guess maybe the best thing would be that of waiting a few seconds and checking out if everything is good. Right. Great. So, once again, this is our second live stream from our studios in Milano, Italy. And today I'm very happy to introduce another friend of SeeDj who has also been one of our tutors for some of our e-learning content. He's a DJ, a producer. The first time I heard him playing live, I actually thought he's not just a DJ, he's more like a superstar DJ. And I'm very happy to introduce you to DJ Plant Texture. Ciao Donna.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
I guess
How you
everyone
doing?
is now connecting and we are online on Instagram, we're online on Twitch, on
Yeah, I saw
Facebook,
that.
on
I saw
YouTube.
that.
Yeah, we're
We're
online.
okay.
So Donna, thanks for joining us. Thanks for accepting our invitation.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the invitation. It's a
So
pleasure. It's a
we've
pleasure.
seen that recently there was a new release from you on the Majestic Ilian tape, the Munich-based label by the
Yeah.
Senkia brothers, and I had the chance to hear from it. There are a little bit some rough gems of like 909 and M breaks
Yeah.
and stuff. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, of course. So basically, we after the record that we made in 2017, we tried many times to make a new record. I sent them plenty of material in the years. But then, when something comes out so spontaneously. So basically, I found this. I was doing some renovation at home, and I found this old PC computer. You know, the old one from, maybe it's one of my first PCs. And I decided to search what was on that HD, and I found a lot of loops and things that I basically did in 2006, 2007.
That's like
I completely
15
forgot
years
about
old
that. Completely
tracks.
forgot. Yeah. I completely forgot about that. And when I was listening, actually this kind of loop sounds really fresh, because now there's all this kind of 2000 things coming back. So basically, I put all that loops and tracks. I've put that one into my MPC, and I oversaturated things, and basically the release was made. Just the jungle track, which is the B2, I made that one a couple of years ago. But the techno tracks were made, that period, 2006, 2007. At that time, I didn't know what I was doing, because maybe I just started with experimenting with
Sure.
Reason and stuff like that.
That was some interesting years. There was.
So always save your work.
Yeah, that's a good message for our listener. Make sure that you always have something stored in an old hard drive that one day you might find out in your closet. Check out the tracks inside. Yeah, because there is.
Yeah. Also, music is cyclical, So at that time, I was listening a lot to Napolitan techno, or the early works of Adam Beyer, the early drum code, and all that kind of thing. So, which basically is the same. The only difference is that I made I made that tracks instead. Since I didn't feel comfortable anymore to do music with the bongo loops. I used basically
Yeah.
the aim and break loops and stuff like that, just playing with the offset of the
Yes,
sample, and
classic
basically it was
jungle
gone.
techniques production. Yeah, I mean, I remember those years
Yeah,
were
yeah,
really interesting. There was a lot on of focus on loops in general, and but I think it's kind of a stable thing in the electronic music, especially in the danceable music, because like there is some loops that will just stay forever. Like if you think about tracks like LFO by LFO or I don't know. The first one
yeah,
that comes to my mind is like the bass line from Solid Sessions, Format One, Orlando Vorn.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
the
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah,
things that stay forever in your mind, and or like Plastic Dreams.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
there is
yeah,
da 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 ta ta da da. Yeah,
yeah,
it
yeah,
always
yeah,
stays
yeah,
there
yeah, yeah,
forever.
yeah.
Yeah, and so it was like 2006 tracks. So that means that you already were like fucking around with the with machines and
No,
computers and
I
stuff.
was just no, I was just I started. I was thinking today when I started. I guess I started to make music way before than 2006. I guess I started to make music in 2000, 2001.
Hmm. But you were already DJing in 2001, right?
No, no,
No?
no, 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 no. I started playing live percussion with the DJ in clubs.
Oh,
I didn't start as a DJ. So basically, it happened that there was this friend of mine that used to DJ, and since I'm a drummer,
yes.
and I was so passionate about percussion. You know, that period was there was a lot of percussionists making live percussion.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I
So I
remember
guess
that.
Villa Lobos started in the same way. I
Yeah,
guess.
but in general, in the whole electronic music thing, there was a lot of interest towards like mixing together live percussionists and electronic music makers. I remember there were some really cool jams that were organized by Dub FX. You remember Dub
Yeah,
FX, right?
yeah.
He was looping stuff with a loop station and just beatboxing, and sometimes it was like with saxophone players or with
Okay.
like bongo players. Yeah, that was and I think it was also a period in which the sound design for danceable music was really moving towards organic sounds, and there was this strong influence from the minimal scene.
Yeah.
Because, like, if I'm not wrong, that was 2006 was the year in which Marco Carola released the Kimbo. I don't know if you have ever.
I heard that. I heard that. I
Yeah,
remember that, but I don't know. I don't know.
it was
But
it.
actually, in 2000 and 2001, I didn't know so much about that kind of techno. I was like more into that kind of. I mean, I was young, so I was more into that kind of bongo house music, percussion things and stuff like that. So I used to do the live percussion with this DJ.
But what kind of music was he DJing though? Was he DJing like house music or?
Like Africanism and that kind of things. The early Bob Sinclair things,
All right, yeah. So like,
like Gypsy Man and stuff like that. All that kind of thing.
yeah.
And so I started doing that. Then I discovered the music production because I in the clubs I met this guy that gave me basically a cracked copy of a Reason, because I saw him. He was we were into the bar. He took out the laptop and he started making things, and I was like, whoa, what's that? And no, you can make music with this, and I was, oh, you have to give me a copy of that one.
Oh.
And he gave me that, and I started making music. There was not so much electronic producer in my area at that time. So basically, for me, doing the DJ thing was much more easier, because when I started to when I started to DJ all around here, people already knew me for the production and stuff like that. I was that kind of the nerd guy.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So, but like this was in Bari, right?
This was in Bali.
Because
Yeah.
like in general, like you come from Bari and I come from like some place that is not too far from Naples, and I guess I mean, I'm a bit younger than you, but I guess the both of us, we were both living in a place in which the danceable electronic music has always been a very strong element in our communities. Like, people was always going out to dance, and
Yeah,
there were a lot of like clubs and a lot of places.
yeah.
Like I remember like the old Metropolis, Old River Park, the Golden Gate. There was
Yeah, that's like in Napoli. There was that scene. Here we used to add the Divine Follie,
Divina Follia, yeah,
which was quite famous in.
in the old
I
Italy.
remember. I remember. I went to play there on. They used to make. They used to make this kind of the parties on Sunday for young people. I was like 15
Yeah,
or something like that.
yeah.
I used to go there.
But this thing of like throwing parties for like people below 18 years old, like I remember once I guess I was in Berlin, and like I was talking to someone from Tuscany, from like Florence or somewhere around Florence, and like they all remembered. There was this group of friends of mine from a town close to Florence, and they all remember that when they were like 14, 15, there were these Sunday parties
Yeah.
that were made exclusively for young people, and like
Yeah.
people 14, 15 years old could already like go places and experience the club thing. And I think
Yeah.
like what like I mean, I was still going clubs and stuff when I was 15, but just because nobody was asking for the ID, even though I was like legally not allowed inside, you know. So,
Yeah.
but I guess this thing of like creating events, especially for like young people and for like 14, 15 years old, maybe that could be a that could have been a good marketing strategy. Also to like somehow fix in someone's mind the figure of certain DJs and creating the legend out of them, you know, because when you go,
Yeah. Yeah. At that time, it made sense. At that time. Oh, we're talking about 20
yeah,
years ago.
kind of, yeah,
But that time, I mean, I mean, now it doesn't make any sense because you can. I mean, at that time
yeah,
we didn't have internet, so the only way you had to listen to music was just going to a club or going to a record shop. But now, like I don't know, a young guy of 13, he can go on the internet and he can
sure,
listen whatever
sure.
he wants.
Well, yeah, even though like I remember a few years later the whole internet thing happened. Like I remember around 2007, 2008, there were the first YouTube
Yeah, yeah.
videos online from Fra 909 TV, especially if you were
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
hardcore
yeah.
thing. There was a lot of like recordings from very big festivals in Germany, in Benelux, in Belgium, in the Netherlands, and the websites were really like, I remember the user interface was really bad. Like it was, there was also I don't know if you ever did that. I used to buy records in Goody Music, which yeah, which
Yeah,
is
sometimes I
a
do,
record
yeah.
shop for our listeners that maybe don't know. It's a record shop that is based in Rimini, if I'm not wrong, and I guess it's still
Yeah,
working and they're still
something like
selling
that.
records and equipment. And when I had my first approach with records, and that yeah, like that sadly a few years ago, around 2007, you could buy records online. But I remember if you wanted to listen to the previews of the records, you only had like 30 seconds, and the way you had to access
Yeah.
to the pre-listen of the track was a nightmare. You were clicking this speaker icon, and then you were redirected to this black page with just a little player in the middle. That was so
Yeah,
bad. But
yeah,
still, we were
yeah.
buying records from that, and I guess you were buying records from that kind of websites too.
No, sometimes I used to buy that record, but the problem was that the preview was so bad, so I didn't enjoy to buy a record like that. Also, we had a record store for DJs in Bari, so basically I just went there, you know, to just hang out and discover
What was
to
what
the
was the name
music
of the record
in the
shop?
record shop. It's
Ah,
still
Mix
open.
Market.
It's Mix Market
But
Records.
you
Mix
never
Mix
brought me
Market.
there.
Um, Because
Yeah.
I had my record shop
We
well,
were
in
in
Pioneer, so
EXP. Yeah, now we're also going to talk about
yeah,
the EXP experience.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so once again, it was like the early 2000s, and you were starting making music. You were starting slowly to DJ as a live percussionist for DJing. And how did you get in touch with the club culture? Like, why did you find yourself at a certain point dancing in a discotheque?
Because I had a lot of friends, and there was this guy Davide Cristiano, which doesn't live here anymore. He lives in the USA now, and there was this. I started before starting to play into clubs. I started to play, into bars and stuff like that. And there was this bar in Bari, in the central area of Bari. It was called Mudu, which basically was the school days of my generation. Like for me, Franco Fonato,
Yeah.
uh, and it was like we were basically every one of us was playing there. Like I was playing every Friday. Franco was playing on Thursday, and other DJ was playing on Saturday. We had this
Yeah.
kind of appointment, and this guy asked me, I saw you make production, because at that time uh, I released digitally on a local label, which is the Flame Recording. They used to do also parties. Basically, they were super a great influence in south of Italy for the electronic music. They were the first one to push everything further, in terms of electronic music.
Sure.
They brought, all this kind of super underground things and stuff like that.
Sure.
So this guy told me, "Oh, you're making production, but do you DJ also?" And I was like, "Yeah, sometimes for a friend." And I was like, "Okay, next Friday come to play here." And basically there was this place. It was like, I don't know, 10 square meters, where it was like, a room with the bar on one side, and on the other side you had this little table with just a broken mixer and two CDJs 100.
CDJ 100s.
The CDJ 100. And but there were a lot of people coming into this bar because it was so cool at that time. So basically, it's like every Friday I was playing. I didn't see them because I was playing like it seemed like a kind of a boiler room or stuff like
Yeah.
that, because there was not so people in front of me. There was back.
Right behind you, yeah.
I was the wall
Yeah,
in
you were
front of
facing
me.
the wall. We had a similar
Yeah, I was.
place also in my hometown, yes.
I was playing the ball, and so basically, I had the chance to play to a lot of friends of mine every Friday, and there was like, I mean, hundreds of people coming there, and there was like this kind of deal with the bar guys. So every time they made a wrong cocktail, the DJ has to drink that.
Ooh.
So at sometimes they made every time this is wrong, you have to drink, this is wrong, you have to. So basically I used to start at 8 to play, and I finished at 1, maybe 2 in the night, completely drunk, but
Wasted.
super happy,
Totally
like
wasted.
for 40 euros or
Mado.
something like that.
That's
50 euro,
that's
50
hardcore.
euro.
That's hardcore.
Yeah, yeah, and it was super fun. It was super fun. It was super fun.
Yeah, that was back in the days. Well, yeah, I mean, uh, yeah, like things were very different like back then. Like there was, and it's cool that there is this. I remember also for me, like when I started things, there were some people that were somehow creating these little communities or of like wannabe DJs, and surrounding themselves with very young people. And by the way, just to make some context for our listeners, like previously, Donato, our DJ Plantexture, mentioned Franco Fonato. For those who do not know who Franco Fonato is, Franco Fonato,
You better check him.
man,
You better
you
check.
better check him. Franco
Better
Fonato
check.
is a sick selector from Bari and DJ, like one of the most wicked DJs I've heard around.
Okay.
And you guys were hosting a radio show, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah, we had a record show for it was basically the show of the shop of
Mm-hmm.
EXP.
EXP Records.
And it was basically he managed all the show, but now since the shop is closed, he has the same show with the same name on Threads Radio.
Okay, wicked. Yeah, Threads Radio.
It's
Yeah,
a monthly show. It's
that's
a monthly
true.
show. You better check it.
Yeah. Definitely, listeners, just go and check out on Threads Radio. You can search for Franco Fonato, and yeah, there is really a lot of good music. And another thing that I've that I've always noticed about, in general, the sound of Bari, like when every time I had the chance to listen to some of the DJs that I know, that are kind of like you and Franco, that are like on with one foot in the dance music and with the other foot in the hip hop scene and dub thing and reggae thing. There is a
Yeah,
really strong dub influence in your music.
yeah. It's actually there's a lot of influence. I mean, it's since we Bari it's a commercial city from when it was born. It's it was a city of commerce. I mean, all the people from around the world came here to sell things and buy things and stuff like that because there was the ferry. So it's a commercial city, and I guess it reflected in the centuries in how the people approach the other people. So we used to listen and to take everything from other cultures. Like for me, I mean, I make jungle, and jungle is not from south of Italy.
Definitely
It's
not.
it's from the UK.
Yeah.
Or like when I used to make more acid things and stuff like that, it's from the USA. It's not from here.
Yeah.
So we take other cultures and we adapt to the way we live, and it's a kind of a blend of various things. It's I mean, it's interesting. I mean, if you're not a kind of a purist in that kind of way, I mean, it's interesting.
It's
It's interesting.
inspiring. Yeah, because like I guess this is another thing that Bari shares, for example, with Naples, because of the fact that both Napoli and Bari, we both have like really big docks and international docks, and there is constantly ships traveling, and there's been
Yeah.
ships traveling for centuries. We've
Yeah.
always like our own identity is a huge mix of different cultures, and because of the fact that our places are melting pots, like Bari is a melting pot, Napoli is
Yeah,
a
it is
melting
a melt.
pot. Of course, you get like the identity of the people that was born and raised in those cities and around those cities are really mixed identities, and
Yeah. Especially from the south of the world,
yeah, true.
way more than the north. And the south of the world is more musical than the north of the world. It's like
Well, when it comes to dance music, yeah, that's
yeah,
for sure. But even though, like, especially in the last 5 to 10 years, there has been a lot of experimental music makers in the
yeah,
electronic thing, especially like in ambient. There is a lot of really interesting music makers in the experimental scene, especially like for example, from Africa, we got Kamaru,
uh,
and Kamaru was born and raised in Nairobi, even though
yeah.
he lives in Berlin now. And like honestly, I think he's a crazy good ambient music makers, and he really brings the ambient
To another level.
conversation. Yeah, the ambient conversation to another level. Yeah, and yeah, there is a lot going on, and also that is also like if we wanna watch it from a positive perspective, is you know the internet connection,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the higher possibility to travel and to hang around places in the world, that also brings connections in terms of art and music, and that creates some cool blends and a lot of
No, no,
people.
I like, for me, like this, all this internet debates, there's too much DJs, too much music, too much people making music. I don't think that way. I mean, I think that internet is good. I mean that if it wasn't for the internet and all these kind of things, we didn't have the chance to listen to all the music that we have the chance to listen today, because like back in the day there was not so much of this kind of music. And I mean, for me it's good. For me, I know that maybe for some older DJs, they are stuck in their, too much DJs, everyone can be a DJ,
Well, I have my own theory on this as well, and like, to be honest, I think there is a lot of complaints, especially from the older generation. And but I think the main reason for that complaints is comes from two things. First, the new generations don't make the same music and don't have the same idols that the old generation has, so that's why the old generation complains about the new one. And the second reason is that the old generation did not really transmit a lot of principles and a lot of the main information about the club culture and the electronic music. They,
it depends on where you
yeah, of
search,
course, of course, but yeah, but
It
yeah, like,
depends. If you search for silly music, the message is silly. If you search for good music, maybe you will find something. It was the same in the 90s. There was a lot of silly music and stuff like that, but there was also great
yeah, yeah,
records.
yeah, and but that's the thing. Like, a lot of the good things sometimes were not transmitted by the older generations to the newer ones, and on the other side, the real problem with like what a lot of people like to define the underground scene is that too often the underground is not able to update their communication techniques, and so they are completely covered by the mainstream, because the mainstream is
Yes.
mostly focused on communicating and marketing things,
Yeah.
and that's one of the main limits of the underground thing, which on one side can be a good thing, but on the other side, I mean, let's make things clear. I mean, this is my theory, this is the way I see it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess you think you have the same idea. Like,
Yeah. It's the
dance
same.
music is not underground. Dance music is nowadays is a mass product. Dance music is a huge business, and the reason why there is a lot of like DJs, there is a lot of easier ways and access to make music and get in the industry, is on one side also because the industry is asking for it. On the other side,
Yeah.
there is also a lot of music makers that just stay there for a few years and then they just disappear and no one sees them anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like in Italy we say horses, like good breed horses, you see them on a long track.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
cavalli di
Yeah.
razza
Yeah.
li vedi
Yeah.
su un lungo percorso.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree, and I have to be honest. On my side, especially during the quarantine and all this COVID shit and stuff like that, there was a lot of times that I decided, oh, maybe it's time to quit.
Yes, I had the same feeling too sometimes.
Maybe it's time to quit. It's time to like to find again like a classic day job, or I don't know. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, you just
You can't quit.
it's like either if you get inside once, you will stay inside forever. If you get inside in a certain way. Donna, let me ask you one question. Do you think that an instrument like SeeDj would have been useful for you when you?
Of course, of course, of course, of course. I would love to have something like CDJ when I was young, because there was like, yeah, like it was that I mean I started to do this kind of thing in that exact period that you were talking about before, like that period when other DJ, they didn't give you the name of the record,
Yes.
and also here, especially here, there was basically I would say, I don't know, two electronic music producer, but I don't know. Maybe there were more, but they just stayed in their room. They never came out of the from their room, and so basically I learned everything, day by day, just staying there, okay, maybe let's try this, let's try this. I just remember, I always remember that day that I discovered that it was possible to make the automation, and because basically I was like, when I used to make tracks, and I wanted to open, the filter, when there was this lead, and I wanted to open slowly, like in the. So basically, I had like 5 copies of the same VSTs with different cutoff level, and the first one was playing that one. Then I started the second one, then the third one. When I discovered it was possible to write the automation, I was like, "Ooh,
Next level.
next level thing."
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it's an important uh, it's an important thing, and I also think that the level of the music made by newcomers today is way better than the newcomers of the I don't know, the 90s or the 2000s.
Yeah, like as a worker in SeeDj, like I get the chance to listen to a lot of things by our users, and yeah, like in general, like I also realized that there is even a deeper comprehension on how you can make tracks sound like yours, and how you can
Yeah,
like how you can really create different scenes for the different moments of the tracks. And like
yeah,
for me it was something that was, I mean, was something of a long process to understand. On one side, because of my personal tastes, because like I was, especially when I discovered the first like Minus things and the first like Plastic Man things, I was really into like that, one instrument, one 606, one 303, and just jamming as much as you could.
yeah,
So that was more of a minimalistic approach. While
yeah,
on the other side, nowadays producers have a lot more of a maximalistic approach, and sometimes
yeah,
you
yeah,
can hear, you can listen to music that starts with kind of an hardcore attitude, and then all of a sudden they switch to some trap things, and or
yeah,
crime-ish stuff,
yeah,
and there is this next level way of blending, which
yeah,
we could only dream of, like even 10 to 15 years ago. It was not that easy to even just make a track with so many elements and maybe with so many channels, because like we
yeah,
were
yeah,
working
yeah,
with 4 gigabytes computers, 4 gigabyte rams computers in since even in 2010, 2009. I remember the first time I
yeah,
downloaded Ableton Live, I was using a 4 gigabyte ram, and that was already a kind of a strong computer. But like
yeah.
once you were putting a couple more plugins, the whole thing was just glitchy.
You have to freeze. You had to
You
freeze.
had
Yeah.
to freeze everything, and you couldn't get the control that you wanted to. So Donna, let's go a little bit back and forward in time. So around 2006, you have your first experiences. You start releasing your music. You start like slowly becoming a DJ, and then there is the
Yeah.
2010s, and a few things happening from 2010 later on, right?
So basically, I started to make music at that time. I released I guess my first release. It was more like in the full minimal, that kind of period. I don't know when it was 2008, 2009,
2008 and
maybe.
2009, Minimal was pushing it very hard.
Yeah, it was that kind of minimal. But I was more like, actually at that period, I was more like into the, border community thing, like James Holden, Nathan
Yes.
Fake, all that kind of dreamy
Those
thing.
artists were
So
very strong in Bari. Also, yeah, James Holden in particular in Apulia was like super appreciated.
he played there a lot of time,
Also
actually.
because of Gallipoli, right? Like Gwendalina.
No, it's because of the
Because
flame.
of
It's
the
because
flame.
of the
Okay,
flame.
okay.
They used to bring all this kind of super underground artists. They brought here that like Chlorophylla, or I don't know. They had this club where they used to make parties on Sunday. It was at Nautilus, and the party was called Tea Dance
The dance.
because it was in the afternoon, and basically that was the school for every one of us to be, that was the period when you have to share the CDs of the DJ set of the DJs, like Tiff Schwartz,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Tish Schwartz. I remember Tish
yeah.
Schwartz. Yeah, man. Yeah, that was very interesting. Yes. Donna, just one thing. It looks like everything is streaming and going on pretty well. Maybe you want to reshare or make a little story with us right now and announce that we're online on SeeDj, so that maybe if there is someone from your supporters that want to ask a few information and maybe want to join a little Q&A in a bit, maybe they get to know it.
Yeah.
You can make a little story on your Instagram, because if you like the idea, we can make a little question and answer in a bit and see if someone from the chat replies to us.
I can let me ask if someone. Let me do that.
So that they can join us and they can just write their questions inside the live stream and see what's good.
Okay. Let me do that. I'm not that good with all these things. I started to use this one. I don't know, 1 year and a half ago or something like that.
We will get to that, bro. Is a slow process, but it's a fun process.
Yeah. Ask me something live on SeeDj. Yo. Yeah.
Yes, I did a little story too.
Okay.
So we're gonna have someone join us for sure.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go further. Which one was your first encounter with the Senka brothers and the Alien Tape community?
Ciao ragazzi.
Ciao ragazzi.
If they're seeing, ciao
But
ragazzi.
what's up with this?
If they're
You
seeing.
always write ciao ragazzi in their comments.
Because they're trying to we insult us every day. Like they're trying to speak Italian and I try to speak Deutsch.
Okay.
So it's every day I write them eins, zwei, Polizei, and all that kind of thing, and they're writing me, ciao ragazzi, and all that kind of things. Basically, it happened. How did we connect? Basically, there was Dario.
Yes.
I guess especially Dario that was charting before I had the DJ Plant Texture thing. I used to make music as Donna, and I had my label Points, which was born in 2014.
2014.
2014. And basically Dario, there was that time when you saw the charts on Resident Advisor, so you could see all the DJ charting your music. And there was Dario, he was charting basically every release of Points. And but at that time I wasn't more like into the housey vibe, I wasn't not so much into that kind of breakbeat techno and stuff like that. Then I decided to start with the DJ Plant Texture things. And when I released the record on Jericho 1, which is the sub-label of Creme Organization,
Sure.
that one with the bug on the cover, like they made a post with one of my track. They shared one of my track on their Facebook time.
Facebook.
Good old days.
Facebook was so big in the electronic music thing, like in the
Yeah. Because you had because with Instagram you don't have the same chance, but with Facebook you had the chance to discover a lot of new music.
I remember one of the most active players in the Facebook game was and still is Perk.
Yeah.
I remember like every time he was posting something either from his private profile or from his Facebook page, everyone was seeing that. And I remember there was a lot, like me too, like I was sharing a lot of techno in my Facebook profile, and sometimes some UK garage or some IDM,
Yeah,
but people was not really into that, because like I moved to
yeah.
Berlin in 2014, and people was way more in the techno thing. The techno thing
Bow, bow,
was
bow,
getting
bow.
super big, and now it's
Yeah.
just out of control.
Yeah.
There is so much.
So basically, he shared this track, and I had I just made press play on that motherfucking MPC, man. The track I gave them. I made that like 2 days before, and I was like, I don't know, let's try to contact them. And basically, I wrote to him. I was, oh, mate, thank you so much for charting. It was like, oh, no, yeah, no problem, man. I love your music and all this kind of thing. I was like, may I send it? It was not for, not properly for, I'm not that kind of guy that is used to do things like, please listen to my demos and stuff like that. It's more like, it should be more a spontaneous thing, It's, and I was like, yeah, maybe I can send you some music if you want to listen. It was just, I kind of thing. I sent like a playlist, and he wrote me like 5 minutes after. It was like, oh man, please stop. Did you send this to someone else? And I was like, no man, I just finished that. I was like, I just finished. I didn't send this to anyone. Just finished this 2 days ago. Okay, wait 5 minutes. I was okay. I didn't know that. And they're like, after 10 minutes, they told me, okay, we're going to make a record.
How did you feel? How
We're
did you
gonna,
feel?
no, I was super happy. But all the times that I approach people that I don't know, because at that time I didn't know them personally. Uh, but when something special happens, it's because it's really spontaneous. Same happened with the guy of crime organization. Same happened with Hector. The same. It's gonna happen. I'm making something with the guy with Davide Carbone, Ashon.
The,
It's because I always tell. I mean, we are good friends not because of the music, but before listening to the music, we go out to have a pizza together.
you love going out and have pizza with your friends.
Yeah, my dad has
Yeah,
is a restaurant.
we have to
So,
go there. I will try. I will try and
yeah,
come to Bari this summer, bro. We go eat something.
I bring
I
everyone
know.
there. It's weird that you didn't
Because
come.
no, that
We brought Stingray
yeah, I
there.
know, but because that time when I came to EXP Records and I played, you remember there was me, you, and there was
Yeah,
Arcangelo from
yeah,
Saturnalia.
yeah,
And I remember that night we were super busy with the festival that was supposed to happen in Valle d'Itria.
yeah. And it
We
didn't
just
happen.
couldn't do it, and you also were busy with some stuff because you had some things going on. I don't remember, but
I don't
yeah,
know.
we're gonna
Man.
do it.
Next time,
We,
next time, next time,
we're
next
gonna do it.
time.
There is always a good chance. So,
Next time,
when
next
was the
time.
first release for Ilian Tape? That was 2000 and
2017
2017.
or 16 or 17 maybe.
They were
Tracks. It took maybe 1 year to come out.
but they were
So tracks were from
they
2016,
were already pretty
and
big. Like I remember, like even in 2012, there was this beautiful release by Andrea that came out. It was a
yeah,
mostly a techno release, but the sound design, mate, was like so forward thinking for that years. I remember I bought the records and I still have it somewhere around here. And yeah, like I remember listening to it with a few friends, um, and we were still like, yeah, this sounds so good.
which was
Yeah,
outlines, I
outline, yeah,
guess.
exactly. Outline by
Outlines.
Andrea.
But yeah,
Yes.
one of the great. That's one of my favorite records of all time, I
Yeah,
guess.
that record is unbelievable. Thumbs up for Andrea and for our listeners. If
Yeah, grande
Grande
Andrea,
Andre.
grande. And Stanley
And
also. Ciao,
Stanley
Stanley.
was playing. Yeah, we said Ciao ragazze to everyone.
Ciao ragazzi,
Yes.
he tried to contact me last week when I played in Berlin. He was supposed to come to the party where I was playing, but then maybe he was drunk around Berlin, so he didn't come
He
in the
was
end.
playing in Milan for the Salone del Mobile during the weekend. He made an unbelievable set, and it was a crazy good closing set. And I mean, I love Stan. He's such a lovely guy, and he's a crazy good music maker. Like he's so lovely and he's so talented. Same thing for Andrea. And yeah, okay. So we have also DJ Plantexure on Creme organization.
Yeah, it was that's my that's my se- I don't really know. That's my third record. Because the first record I made was on the Lobster Theremin sub-label, the 10 Pills Mate,
Yes.
which was like a huge success. Like, I mean, I noticed the difference, in terms of popularity.
Sure.
From one record as Dona and that record, like it's something switched. They started to book me outside, and I showed the point. The difference was big. I made that one. Then I made like then I made one on UTTU,
Yeah.
Unknown to the Unknown.
Unknown to the unknown. That
Unknown to
platform
the
is so good. There's so much good
Yeah.
stuff, and they
Um,
also do softwares sometimes.
yeah, I guess he's doing something
There
like
is
that.
a like a VST, if I'm not wrong. There's like a data mutator, if I'm not wrong. Maybe I'm saying bullshit. I hope I'm not saying bullshit.
Yeah.
But anyway,
And then I made then again. I was a super fan of crime organization, of crime organization, especially at the time. And after, I don't know, that's actually one of the labels that I tried to contact a lot of time, like from where I was super young, and he didn't reply. He never replied to me. And one day I wrote him and I was like, oh, we're doing this, and this. So he took out like 3 records on the list in like one day. And then I made the Alien Tape. It was my 4th record as DJ Plantex.
and it's cool that you're wearing a Long Island Electrical Systems T-shirt,
Yeah.
because there was this release about.
Shout out to Rob Morelli.
Yeah, shout out, such a legend. And there was,
Such a legend.
they also made a combined release together, Creme Organization and Long Island Electrical Systems. There with Legovelt.
Yeah, there was Simoncino, Legovelt,
Yes.
Vereker, some other guys. I don't know.
I have it.
Greg Bito.
Greg Bito, man, Greg Bito, so good.
Unbelievable.
It was Greg Bito that had the alias Breaker 1-2.
Breaker 1-2 is the other artist of Greg Bito.
If you remember that release on Forbidden
Forbidden
Planet,
Planet,
man,
yeah.
that release is still so.
I played that. I don't know. I played that for 3 years, like every set I was playing.
I still play that. That reminds me a lot of a doll track that you know for sure, Eva. It's on Arsenic. Yeah, you know that. So good. So, Creme Organization, and then we have the more recent chapter that had a fucking huge success with Respiro.
Yeah.
But-
It's because I performed without the
Yeah,
the t-shirt.
without the t-shirt. but before we get into that, there is also a very very high profile release that happened for Mannequin. That also is.
Yeah.
That
It,
also.
I was in contact with Alessandro. Just say hello, ciao brother. He's another super nice guy into the, and I always try to stay connected to true people, and that and with people that knows music, understand music, they live for the music, no bullshit, no Instagram things, no, I don't care about that. And Alessandro, it's like, I don't know, it's like all the other guys that I met in my on my road. It was one of the most true people. And I always loved the more ambient side of music, wavish things and stuff like that. And I had this track that was they were sit there into my hard drive, and I wrote him. I was like, Ale, if you like this, I don't know, we're gonna make it, and we made a record.
Yeah, and I remember you.
It was supposed to have like a second volume of that, but then the COVID came in. It was like
Yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
total mess, a total mess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, but I remember you also you gave to me that record as a gift when I came to Bari.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
yeah.
really kind of you. And of course, shout out to
Grande, grande,
Alessandro Adriani,
grande,
living legend, a
grande, yeah.
true living legend. And that brings us to our most recent chapter
Yeah,
with your love story
yeah, yeah.
with
With
Hector
that,
Rocks.
basically, I always want at some point. Since I have a lot of influences and stuff like that, I just don't want to be stuck on just one kind of music. You listen to me playing. Sometimes the DJ set, it could be, it could seem a little bit of nonsense, but I just don't. I'm not able to stay focused on just one thing.
It's a huge
So
crossover.
yeah, it's a huge crossover. It's like my life. It's a huge crossover. And I always wanted to do a serious kind of rave acid techno uh, project, like with a lot of 90s reminiscence, and stuff like that. Because I love a lot, record, the old RNS record and stuff like that, over things, wow, all that kind of things. So I
With
was
the
like,
Hoover, with the
with the
shouting
Hoover,
Hoover.
yeah, Hoover thing, and the basically the COVID kicked in,
Yes.
and we had to stay home. So the shop was closed. So I was like, okay, maybe this is a sign. Maybe it's time to start something new. And basically, it's always DJ Plantexo, but it's DJ Plantexo presents A662, which is the fiscal code of Bari.
Okay.
And I wanted to make that. I made this track. I I made this track. I didn't know. Again, I didn't know where to send. Because at that time I was not into the more big techno things. I was more like a breakbeat DJ.
Yeah, yeah,
weird
yeah.
guy.
I remember that.
And I met when I reopened the shop. I met Gianni Gentile
Yes.
from Cura Festival, and it was like Hector is a friend of mine. If you want, we can send him. I was like, I don't know, man. Maybe he plays more art. But I didn't have anything to lose. And I sent them, and again, after 1 hour, we had the record. It's always like that. It's always like that. Also, I mean, with Hector is super special because, like all the other guys, is one of the best human being I've met in my life. Also because shout out to him, because probably if it wasn't for him, I would give up when it was that time.
Really?
Yeah.
You.
He gave me again the motivation. When I sent him music. I was not sure about the music because I was new in that kind of, and he was like, bro, you have to just give me your music, your sound. Then I know what to do. You don't have to make music like that or make music like that or make. I don't want that kind of music. I want your music, your artist profile, and that's the most important thing. That's also the same reason why he did on Chaos. He did the DGPT series. which was the last one, because he told me your music is a little bit different from the
The
music
mass.
that
Yeah, the mass.
yeah. So we should make a proper series. And I'm so happy about that.
That's also a message for all our listeners, especially for the young music makers.
Yeah, you have to find your own sound.
Don't get lost into what's
Don't
going
get
on.
lost in copying things all around. You have to find your own sound. You have to find what represent you, and you have to work on that. You have to find your own sound. I mean, maybe you can. I'm referring to young DJs, young producers especially. You can do whatever you want. You can do like I don't know, 10 different music style, but you have to find your own sound. You have to be recognizable.
Yeah, it's like delivering your identity into the music
Yeah,
that you make.
exactly.
It's fun. I mean, it's like platforms like SeeDJ can really help you, like learning from the best music makers that you can find
Yeah, and
around.
find your own way to
Like
manage things.
and there is even Deadbeat said it into one of our interviews. Shout out to Deadbeat, lovely human being, crazy good artist. Uh, Picasso used to say that like good artists copy, great artists steal. So if you
Yeah.
wanna be a great artist, steal all the best techniques from the artists that you love, but use them to make your things. Don't
Yeah,
get
yeah. That's the only way. That's the only way. Otherwise, nobody will notice your music. I mean, after years and years making music, if you make the same music of all the other people all around, it it will go into this big, giant hole with full of music, and nobody will care about that.
yeah, that's true.
Nobody will care about that. You
And
have to. I mean, it's super important also to put like a kind of a message into the into the music. It's super important. Like for example,
yeah,
uh,
I agree
like
completely.
I don't know, respira. Which is I mean it's a simple track, I know that it's simple compared to a lot of other tracks that I made. That one is probably the most simple track I made, but it made sense because I made that one and during the first wave of
Of
COVID.
pandemics, yeah. It was delivering a message.
Yeah,
Take a breath. Just breathe. Yeah, that's a very important message to everyone that is listening to it. It's cool to discover things, learn things, especially also just like have conversations, but also with people that make music that is completely different compared to what you do. But
because they can inspire you.
of course, but what matters the most at the end of the day is that you find your sound, you make your thing, and you deliver the message that you feel the need to deliver. Because music is all about this. Like
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that the reason why Donna makes music because he has fun making music, or because there is a beautiful community that create the music thing. But mostly, Donna makes music because there is a lot of things he don't know how to say with his words, and he has to say
yeah,
them with the
yeah.
music.
Because basically I don't speak that kind of thing usually. It's like the same for you. It's the same for. I mean, it's the same for who decide uh, to take it more seriously. You know, uh, like Frankie Knuckles said, the moment you think that you're bigger than the music, you're gone. So you have to. I mean, it's like music. Music is a tool for you to express yourself, but you are a tool for the music
Yes.
more than everything.
Yeah, when I listen to the Aphex Twin, I have this feeling. And by the way, shout out to Frankie Knuckles, godfather of all of us. Rest in peace. And when I listen to the Aphex Twin music, I that's something that I feel. Sometimes I just feel like he's a medium,
Yeah,
he is just there to transmit something that is above
yeah,
all of us and that we all share as human beings. And Aphex Twin is just a medium and turns that thing that is, ethereal, and he turns that into something concrete. And you listen to it, and we all are connected by that thing. And
yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's a way of thinking about the music as
But
a
also
medium.
it was able to create. It's important to create a kind of a scenario with your music. Like if you listen to Aphex Twin, you wouldn't tell you wouldn't tell he's from the USA or he's from. I mean, if I listen to Aphex Twin, I can't imagine anything different from that area.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah,
I mean, I just, also the kind of, this kind of nerdy things, small room full of synthesizer, no social life, I just think about that, and that's the truth. It's like when people listen to my music, uh, they can feel there's a lot of irony into the music that I make. A lot of contradiction. It's always kind of take it. I mean, take it easy, but
but be hardcore.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, be real. Yeah, that's true. That's really part of your music. Donna, we have a lot of friends saying hi to you, a lot of supporters and like friends of the platform, friends of your music, and there is some common friends that say hi. We have not Mas,
Ah,
that
grande,
Grande
Antonio.
Antonio, that
Grande.
is wondering if we can share with our listeners the recipe for the Parmigiana. If we can share that.
I'm not. You wouldn't expect that, but I'm not a good cooker.
He's not a good cook.
I'm not a good cook. I'm not a good cooker because I had my dad has a restaurant, so I just go there to eat and drink. I don't cook
You don't have
anything.
to do anything, all right? So
Yeah, that's
so sorry, Antonio. It looks like Donato does not have a personal Parmigiana recipe,
I'm so sorry for that. I'm
and
so sorry.
but don't worry. If you come over to my place, I will cook the Parmigiana for you. I will cook
Okay.
it. And
Okay.
there is Domenico De Palma Mimuccio that also sends us a big hug. And
No.
yes, he's here with us. And there is a lot of other um, yeah, there is a lot of other humans that are just saying hi. They're happy to be on board with us.
Yeah,
Um, so we have a few things. We have the one of the main questions. What's your plans for the future? Like, what's gonna happen? If is there anything you want to spoil us? Is there anything?
No way. I don't have this kind of problem. I have the reverse problem that I used to talk so much. When I make something, I have to do that. I have to do that. I have to do that. Uh, I'm finishing my album, but again, I don't know where it will came out. I have something with the guys of Repitch,
Yes, that's cool.
Davide Carbone. It's
I'm curious about that.
no, that's insane. That's insane. And actually, I'm so happy that I have the chance to perform all around, especially with this live set. What I which I played at Hor, in Berlin, and
And you were mono for the first 15 minutes.
yeah, because I asked the guy, it's going mono, because I was listening to both of the speakers inside, because it was weird. I mean, if it's mono, you listen to just one,
Yes.
but it was both of the speakers were playing, and I asked the guy, but it's normal this one. It was like, no, it's okay. I was like, if you tell me that, it's okay. And then Domenico from Accepta, ciao Domi,
Ciao, Notus.
malamente, Notus. Basically, he called my girlfriend outside of her, and he told my girlfriend, please go inside and and tell the guy that he's going mono. So it was a kind of
I could hear it also from my computer. It was playing only from the left speaker,
yeah.
and I was like, "Dude, the guy's in mono. How do I tell it?" And then I saw the guy, the sound guy, and you were talking, and like, playing with the retro of the Alanith, I guess. Was it an
Yeah, yeah,
Alanith?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And I was like, all right, they solved it. That's all right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did
We
you?
made it.
Was it a good time playing in her?
Yeah, yeah. It was fun. It's more like it's I find that I mean there is a good thing also for discover new music for newcomers and stuff like that. I enjoyed that quite a lot. Also because I was with the other guys, with Hector, that I don't see so much, obviously, because I live in Bari and he lives in Berlin. But we had really good times. Also, it was good because I met again all my friends that lives in Berlin. That actually are more than the people that are living here. Everyone is going to he went to live in Berlin.
Everyone is moving to Berlin.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Yeah. With the, I wanted to wear the Cassano T-shirt
Yeah.
a lot. I have to. I have to specify. This is important that T-shirt was wear for real
By
in
Cassano.
Bari Salernitana. Yeah.
Wow. So that
Uh,
that's
yeah.
that's
Let's specify
that's
this.
a
Let's
rare item.
Provenienza campo.
Provenienza
Let's
campo. It was
Provenienza.
it was used in a match weekend.
Yeah, shout out to the brother of Christian Lixco, 13340. That
Yeah.
is a huge collector of
Yeah,
football.
yeah. Like for our listeners, I'm pretty sure you've heard him or you've heard this music. CEM3340. He's an artist from Bari. His name is Christian, and he has a crazy good synthesizers and drum machines and general gear collection. And it also his name that's really unearthing because the CEM 3340 it was the chip
Of the SH101.
of the SH101, and he's also like a very great collector of rare football items and rare football T-shirts, as they were used by football players. So yeah, shout out to Cem, big hug to Cem, and right. So we've been streaming for about 1 year. Let's see if there is anything going on. Is there any questions from your Instagram?
It's blocked my Instagram. I don't know what happened. No, just people saying
Yeah. Same here. All right. So Donna, next gigs. What's going on? What's up in the summer? Is there anything?
There's plenty of things happening. Finally. I will make my debut in Madrid
In Madrid.
next week.
Where-
Never played there.
Where are you playing? Fabric?
No, the name of the party is Stardust. I don't know which is the name of the club. The party looks sick, and I played with my friend JC from Jose from Cabrera Record. Ciao, brother.
Ciao,
I'm
brother.
playing with him. Then there's plenty of other things happening, like I'm playing again in Munich, making my Rotterdam debut, Paris, there's a lot of things. Finally.
Rotterdam represents.
Yeah.
Right. Amazing, bro. I'm very happy about all the forthcoming gigs, and I'm very happy about the new projects for like with repeats, your new albums and everything. I'm sure that after this like live stream, if there is some label owner that were listening to that, they're gonna send some email for the album for sure. I'm pretty sure about that. And yeah, mate, thanks for joining us. That was really nice to.
Thanks so much to all of you guys, especially to you.
It was a pleasure, mate. Finally, we had the chance to talk a little bit about music and having fun talking about it, and not just talking about work.
Yeah. But you work too much. You have to slow down a little bit.
I know, mate. I will when I get famous like you, I will slow down.
Well, famous like me is, I mean, it's a big quote. It's a big quote.
Mate, we're gonna see soon in Bari, and thanks a lot again for joining us. Thanks to everyone from the SeeDj team that is moderating the live stream and is taking care that everything is working properly with the streaming and on the different platforms. We say hello to our listeners and thanks for joining us on Twitch, on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on whatever. And yeah, this was DJ Plantexture.
Oh, so guys, thank you so much for having me.
And thank you everyone again. Wish you a beautiful night and see you all soon.
Ciao, peace.